Good morning, everyone. Commissioner O'Grady's caught up in a little traffic, so we're going to go ahead and begin. And this morning we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll go ahead and start our regular agenda and come back to our guest. First, we will have the approval of minutes of June 14th, June 21st, June 28th, all in 2016, and the minutes of, and those are general session, and the minutes of June 9th, 2016, the briefing session.
I'll move for approval of those minutes.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Minutes have been approved.
Next, we'll hear from the coroner's office.
Resolution number 552-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations for the addition of a part-time forensic pathologist position to support the coroner's office.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Franklin County Coroner Dr. Ortiz. I appreciate you hearing our request today. As you know, the caseload for our office continues to rise, most likely due to a steady increase in opiate-related deaths as well as the increase in population in Franklin County. The coroner's office is accredited by the National Association of Medical Examiners, and to remain compliant, a pathologist must not complete more than 325 cases per year. We are currently at a projected rate of 275 cases per pathologist. Without the additional half-time pathologist, we would retain our accreditation but would likely receive a Phase 1 violation for each of our pathologists. An additional consideration is our office conducts out-of-county autopsies at a billable rate of over $400,000 a year. And without name accreditation, it's likely that the out-of-county coroners would send their cases to other name-accredited agencies. So currently the budget does not allow us to maintain the current part-time pathologists. So on behalf of the coroner and the coroner's office, I would respectfully ask for your consideration in this matter.
Absolutely. Move approval of Resolution 552-16.
I'll second that. And would you get us some additional data on the opiate deaths, please?
Absolutely.
Sure. We all know that's a huge concern, but perhaps there's something else we need to know.
Sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye. Whoops.
I'm sorry. Resolution number 552-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have the sheriff's office.
Resolution number 553-16, resolution authorizing a settlement to Linda Gray for a disputed property damage claim due to an auto accident involving a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy in the amount of $2,000.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good
Dave
morning.
Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Scott. This resolution approves a settlement of a vehicle damage claim from an accident that occurred on May 20th, 2016. It's been recommended by the prosecutor and County Fleet Management and offers payment in the amount of $2,000 to settle the claim. Any questions? I ask approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 553-16.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Resolution number 553-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 554-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriations for providing security services.
Commissioners, the 2016 budget included a contingency for various security details the Sheriff's Office will be asked to care for. Approval of this resolution transfers approximately $142,000 from this contingency to the appropriate line items within our budget to offset the overtime expenses for these details. It covers payroll through July 22nd for the primary election detail, various dignitary protections, the Arnold Classic, and Red, White, and Boom. And we respectfully ask approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 554-16.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Resolution number 554-16 has been adopted.
You're tricking us.
I know. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I'm going to get
Brooks and Brown, it gets a
straight.
little confusing. Okay, next we have Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 555-16, resolution approving a sub-award agreement with the Mid-Ohio Food Bank for the purchase and distribution of food to Franklin County soup kitchens, food pantries, and emergency shelters in the amount of $150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Franklin County Job and Family Services. This resolution will approve the county's annual contribution to the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, helping to fund the purchase and distribution of food to emergency food pantries, shelters, and kitchens, soup kitchens, I apologize. The funding will result in an estimated 600,000 meals being provided to local Franklin County families and minor children that currently are living at or below the 200% federal poverty level. Pending any questions, I would ask approval for this resolution.
I will move for approval of 55516.
Second that.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye. Commissioner
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 555-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 556-16, resolution approving a sub-award amendment with the Columbus Urban League for the Men's Workplace Suiting Program, an increase of $12,500. Total amount is $37,500.
This resolution will amend our current contract with the Columbus Urban League for their men's workplace clothing program, My Brother's Closet. Since 2014, the Columbus Urban League has offered interviewed and work attire to low-income men seeking employment. Men referred to the closet receive personalized fittings for suits in the confidence they are no longer impeded from making great first impression. In attendance today, we have Stephanie Hightower, President and CEO of the Columbus Urban League, to share additional information regarding My Brother's Closet.
Great. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone. Oh, I do have some handouts for you.
Thank you. Could we have one extra, or we'll leave it for Commissioner O'Grady? Thank you.
Sure, thank you for this opportunity to present this morning. What I wanted to do was, what you have in front of you are some of our facts and our stats and our results as it relates to this almost 3-year project that we launched to help young men to get suited and booted and ready for work. As a matter of fact, I have 5 of my gentlemen that just walked in who are either have been a part of our Transitions Work Program, which is funded by the county. They're a part of our Summer Youth Employment Program, which is funded by the county. And they are also a part of our Choose to Change or Father to Father program. So these individuals have all been suited and booted in the closet. They've all been employed and been placed on jobs. And so we're just really, we are really excited about the opportunity to continue this program. The biggest thing for this, as we all know, and you know, you see these fine gentlemen sitting up here this morning with their suits and ties on. We all know that when you get an individual ready to go to work, suited and booted, that the level of confidence that it gives them, the ability to go in and sell themselves, whether they are ex-offender, whether they have just been unemployed for a long time, whether they are a person that has been involved or their family has been in generational poverty. Being able to get these men suited and booted and ready to go to work is really exciting to see. So again, we have some of our young men that joined us this morning, and we really wanted to come say thank you for this opportunity.
Stephanie, I think this is great, and one of the things I had asked in briefing last Thursday was if you needed other things, this would be a good opportunity for you to suggest to the audience, and we could put online what kinds of things you need for replenishing the closet.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Brown. Yes, you know, at the bottom of the page, as you can see, what is your opportunity to volunteer? Always love to have suits. I know a lot of gentlemen, you probably, your wives, you have, your husbands have, they have suits in the back of the closet that they haven't worn for probably about 10 years. You can bring them down to the Columbus Urban League. We would love to have them. Ties and shoes and belts are always welcome. So if anyone is interested in a clothing drive, we'd be more than willing to work with you as well.
And how would people get them to you?
If you call, Lori Kellerman is our Workforce Development Director. If you call her office or call the Columbus Urban League, we can give you the days and times that you can drop that stuff off. And if, in fact, you are immobile or don't have the ability, we will send someone to pick up those items as well. Might take us a couple of days after you call, but we can send someone out to pick those items up as well.
Stephanie, this program is, at the end of the day, about getting a job. It's great to look good and makes you feel good, and that gives you confidence. But at the end of the day, we would like these men and women in our community to have a job. I see here you've listed the statistics for those that have gone through the program, and you're utilizing the clothing in all of the other programs that the county is funding. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So it's open for all of the various programs that we fund. And I think our funding is around how much now for Urban League?
Oh, you mean on an annual basis?
Yeah.
We're probably a little bit more than, once you add in the summer program, which is, the summer's about $1 million. So, we're probably up to $1.5 million or so.
Okay.
At this point. And so that's, I think, Commissioner Brooks, in my opinion, that's the beauty of being able to integrate all of your funding, and so that it can be utilized across the board as opposed to just one program.
Well, and that's exactly my point. I think it's important for people to understand that we're not just buying a bunch of clothes. Any agency can do that, but this is targeted at the various programs that through the many years preceding your great leadership, we have funded through the Columbus Urban League. So I just wanted to make that point, because sprinkled in this handout are the statistics for each program. And you may want to just kind of mention each one.
Sure.
How many people have been placed.
Okay, well, as it states in here, to date, over the last 3 years since 2014, we've suited 792 men. In this year alone, we have suited and placed on a job 63 ex-offenders. Please know that this isn't about, as you mentioned, Commissioner Brooks, we do not purchase any clothing. Everything is donated to the closet, which is fantastic. In our New Beginnings program, 11 jobs, people have been placed in jobs thus far. And then don't forget, this is still just midway through the year, so we have the rest of the year to continue to place individuals. In our Transitions program, which is again our ex-offender program, work program, the 63 have been suited and placed in jobs. And then to date, we have 25 of our youth, young men who came through our program, summer program. They're working, and they were suited and booted as well. So we believe that we have a great track record as it relates to job placement.
You missed Father to Father,
and
because that's been a long time program.
It has been, and 58 of those guys have been suited now. A lot of them already are working dads as well. But again, at the end of the program, it gives them an opportunity, especially then, to go into our New Beginnings or our Transitions program, and that's what we're able to do, is take those folks out of those programs and then put them in our workforce programs that you're funding.
And DSW and Express are still assisting with this?
Absolutely. They have been great partners. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of great new Argyle socks that Express just donated.
Style now, right?
Absolutely. And as well as shoes. So they continue to be great partners, along with you, being able to get our young people and young men out there and get them ready for a job.
Great.
And at the end of the day, it's about investing in people. And you
Absolutely.
know that.
Absolutely.
We know that as well. So our investment in the Urban League is an investment in people, an investment in helping people to get the jobs they need. And that's what we do every day. So thank you. And thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Thanks for being here. You look good.
And working every day, aren't we?
It's great.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll get you out of here so you can go to work.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will move approval of Resolution 55616.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 556-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Economic Development and Planning. Thanks, Joy.
Resolution number 557-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Teresa K. Weaver at 3509 Olive Street, Grove City, Ohio, 43123.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning, joined today by Jamie Edwards in our office, and we have a number of mortgage subordinations that she's going to go through before annexations.
I apologize for being late, and I'm sorry for missing this. After we do this first one, though, can we take a quick break? We have a guest, and I'd like to be able to do this before we get too far into and then we'll move back on with all right, sorry.
Commissioners, Teresa K. Weaver received $20,000 in January of 1996. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled. The mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
I will move for approval of Resolution 557-16.
I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 557-16 has been adopted.
All right, before we continue, if you don't mind, please, this is Local Foods Week, and so I would like to bring up Mike Hogan, the Extension Educator and Associate Professor at the Ohio State University Extension Office, and some Franklin County local farmers. Good morning.
Morning. Appreciate the opportunity to be
Mike.
here. Good to see you. And just wanted to quickly thank you for your support of agriculture. Appreciate your recognition of Local Foods Week. Local Foods Week in Columbus in Franklin County is part of a statewide effort we have to draw more attention to local foods and the importance to our economy, food security, lots of those good things that you guys know because you're so supportive of agriculture and the local food system here in Franklin County. So I wanted to leave with you our schedule for events and invite you to any thing that your schedule permits you to come to. We actually have extended Local Foods Week to be a 2-week event in Franklin County because there's so many community events and agencies and groups that want to do something, which is a wonderful problem to have. Want to share with you our latest local foods guide for Columbus, and thank you for your financial support for helping us get that done again this year. And then more importantly, I want to introduce you to 2 local farmers and just have them say a word. With us today are Teresa Gaudier. Teresa is one of our urban local farmers down towards Canal Winchester, and also Lisa Schott, who is a more typical farmer also from the Canal Winchester area.
Great.
Good morning.
Hi there. I said to Mike when we came in, this is as close as I've ever been to politics, so I'm a little nervous today. But yes,
You're
my
a
name
smart
is
woman.
But yes, my name is Teresa Gautier, and I am a former chef and current farmsteader. I have a micro farmstead, I guess, is what I call it, because I'm not a traditional farmer. And at 55 years old, I knew that doing what Lisa's doing on a large-scale family farm was not something that I could, do at this stage in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But as a former chef, for me, the local foods movement is a no-brainer. I mean, it's what's great for our local economy. It's great for the health of our communities. And I think for me, watching the degradation of our food system has been very disturbing. And I've always had a deep and abiding love for the family farmer. My great-grandmother was in agriculture in Italy, and she came to this country for a better way of life. And so I'm here in part to honor her. But also Lisa is a hero of mine, and I've been a customer of her family farm for many years. So to be here today is a great honor, and I thank you for supporting us. And as far as what I'm doing on my own property, for me it's very important to set an example for people in the suburbs to consider growing some of their own food, and for those who can't grow on their own properties to support the family farmers again, because it's so important. And the work is amazing, and we have a world-class city, and I think this really elevates us all to support this, and because nationally this is a movement, and we can be at the forefront of it here in the city. And so for me, it makes absolute sense.
Where is your micro farm?
Well, I'm in Canal Winchester. It's on the edge of, technically I'm in Columbus, but we live right on the edge of Canal Winchester.
And what do you grow?
Everything. And this year I have total crop failure on all of my vining crops, so it's been important for me to do a lot of different things so that when something fails, I have something to back. But basically I've turned my my property into an edible landscape.
Great.
And, you know,
Perfect.
we moved away from perennials and
Fantastic.
started planting all edibles as much as possible in the front yard. We do a lot in the backyard, but we have such a small property that everything is being grown sort of vertically or in raised beds.
That's great.
So,
That's great.
but it's been wonderful, so I really hope, on a personal level, that I can set an example for others,
That's
that we
great.
return to a more sustainable way of
And it's
eating.
so true, we waste our land. you know,
Absolutely.
with yards
Well,
and
yeah,
pesticides and
with
it's
just
ridiculous.
grass,
With
you know,
grass,
growing grass
yeah.
and nothing else. It just didn't make sense. And, you know, when you have that space, when you can be growing, I mean, literally, you know, now we have fruit trees and we have, you know, just a little bit of everything. I mean, things that come back every year, and rhubarb, and it's beautiful too, because it's
Yeah, it's beautiful.
it's, you know, like I said, an edible living landscape.
That's
How do you keep the
terrific.
deer away? I had
Oh.
2 fawns, they're eating, I have pumpkins, and they're
Uh,
eating my pumpkin.
Well, it's tricky because, you know, in the suburb where we are, we have a green space that backs up our property, and so we have all these animals that have lost their habitat that are living there.
That too, I know, I don't want to do anything nasty,
Yeah,
but
I
I
mean-
just don't want them to eat my pumpkins.
Well, exactly. I mean, we struggle with it every day, and on top of it, we also have so many insects because the woods are right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tell Mike, if we can grow on our property, anybody can grow food, because we have every challenge you can imagine.
It's great.
But anyway, it's wonderful. Thank
it
you so much
sometime.
for supporting what we're doing, because, you know, I think that it's going to make our community great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for this opportunity, commissioners, staff, and the audience. I'm Lisa Schacht of Schacht Family Farms, and as they said, from Canal Winchester. My husband and I have been producers of local foods for over 34 years. They mentioned traditional. We never ever viewed ourselves truly as traditional operators, because we focused on the specialty crops, which was a very intensive operation that was not as prevalent in the Midwest as we know. So with that 34 years of experience in producing and marketing fresh local foods on the east side of the county, I thank the commissioners and the county for being so supportive of local food production. It is crucial to our community in a variety of ways. We've been able on our farm to provide an option for wholesome food for the health and well-being and wellness of Franklin County residents in the wider area. It too has maintained a visual opportunity for food production, for people to see how food is produced and to experience the food. They've come to the farm and actually been able to harvest their own foods as well. Also, the promotion has created more interest in food and food production. And so we've seen that participation showing up in more farmers markets being available, community gardens, and niche production and marketing. This has helped our growing, helped and is growing our local economy and the awareness of quality of food and the improvement that can be made in our diets. Again, I want to thank you for your support of local foods, and as Mike said, now 2 weeks. It really should be promoted year-round. I promote my farm as much as possible. We have primarily fall production now. We had at one time been 6 months out of the year producing over 35 different varieties of crops on 60 acres. Have compressed that some because of our stage of life, but we see other producers coming into it, and so we do believe that there is enough demand to continue to see this aspect of our economy thrive. And again, thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking up. And I've heard, and Mike, maybe you could answer this, that the average Ohio farmer's age is 58. And so we really need to have more people coming into the farming industry, whether it's micro farming or larger scale.
It's actually nationally, I mean, you know, Ohio, I think it's a little bit higher than that.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
actually a little bit lower in Franklin County. Our agriculture is a little
That's
bit
good.
different in Franklin
So we're
County.
making a difference here.
We do see,
Good.
we see folks, you know, a lot more women farmers, a lot more young and beginning farmers. As an example, just our urban agriculture. 2 years ago, when I started in this role, we had 5 urban farms in the city of Columbus. We now have 15.
Great.
And our traditional agriculture in our more rural areas in Franklin County is still very strong. Cash receipts from agriculture in Franklin County each year are over $75 million. So agriculture is still a big part of our economy here in Franklin County.
So what is the average age of our farmer in Ohio?
I believe it's over 60.
That's amazing.
Low 60s. Lisa, I know, knows this because she and I talked about it earlier this year. but also my friend Commissioner Champ Henson down in Pickaway County is a farmer, and he and I have talked about this as well, because his kids don't want to take over his farm as he
Right,
ages.
and
really
I
hard.
don't have my next generation coming into my farm operation. One thing that is sometimes overlooked and what has been an advantage of the local food movement is the fact that traditional agriculture is very capital intensive, and it's very difficult for next generations or young or new people to obtain access to either land or the resources
Right.
to start a traditional farm. With local foods and micro production of a sort, there is much more opportunity then for young individuals to either do it as an add-on or an additional enterprise to what they're already doing, to build it up till it's a self-supporting enterprise,
Right.
or that they can even start early on, and if they work really hard and make some sacrifices, then they can get established. And the urban, we thrived. In '81, when we established our operation, it was because location.
Sure.
And that's the whole thing with local foods that people have to remember, that if you're in the proximity of the people and you produce a quality product, you have a ready market. And that you're helping to promote the awareness of that will open up doors to opportunity. Thank you.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
being a family farmer, having been one. We still have part of our family farm, but it's our generation moved and the farm stayed there.
So
It's hard.
So it's actually kind of appropriate that we ended up doing this in the middle of economic development and planning, because with our local, the food action plan that the city of Columbus and Franklin County have been working on for the last many months, couple of years actually at this point. Matt Brown out of economic development and planning has been our coordinator, and Lisa and Chef, you guys are really two fantastic examples of what we were thinking of when we decided to go in this direction and try to put this together. Not only the local family farm that's into production and then the local backyard gardener / chef. You're a little bit more than a backyard gardener. Matter of fact, this year I planted tomatoes and peppers in my backyard, and went out of town for the last couple of weeks. We were in Los Angeles and Philadelphia, and I kept saying to my kids, "Boy, I hope somebody's going to water my plants. I hope somebody's going to water my plants." I came back. I have like 3 dozen fantastic tomatoes. I have peppers of every variety, including habaneros, that my kids can't wait to get their hands on. So it's been a good year for those type of plants. And I found that leaving your back porch light on for a while in the evening kind of keeps the deer from coming too close to the house.
Ours come in the daytime.
That doesn't work.
So you have nighttime.
We have a lot of deer.
We
Well,
have
we also
daytime fawns.
We also have a lot of deer in the
Twins.
neighborhood this year that we haven't had in the past,
You've got
because
a
a lot
lot
of the
more
construction that's going on out near our house. And we have every variety of deer you can imagine now, and the dogs actually have gotten used to them, but they stay away from the house. The plants are near the house, and they stay away from the house.
Well, they're
But
eating
anyway,
my pumpkins and seed them.
so we're excited here. In the next couple of months, we'll have results of our food action plan.
But they're cute.
Be able to move forward, and we're trying to, like I said, we've tried to include not only family farms and gardeners, but the local community gardens and the family and the local urban farms that we've been involved with, as well as those that are in the production business, distribution business. And so we're just trying to bring everybody, restaurateurs, everybody that's involved in the local food system into this project, and they've done a lot of work, and they've narrowed it down to I think less than a couple dozen 22 recommendations now. Originally they had hundreds, and now they're down to less than 2 dozen. So we're excited about where this is heading. We're glad you could be here today. We find this local food movement to be something that we believe is at the beginning of an economic development movement, and will continue in that direction. We also believe that here in Central Ohio, we've become kind of leaders in the country in some of this. When we were out in LA a couple of weeks ago, before I got out there, Lauren Rummel from my staff did a local foods tour in Los Angeles County. When I was out in Seattle last year, I did a local foods tour in King County, Washington. It's going on in places around the country. There is a movement, it ought to be going on in California, for God's sakes, with all that they do out there in the area of agriculture and mass production and farming. But it's so good to know. And the other, as you were talking about earlier, we were talking about the next generation of farmers not necessarily being there. When we went up to, Eric Janis was with us, Eric and Lauren and I went up to Cuyahoga County a few years back to learn about urban farming and urban gardening from our friends up there. One of the things that we picked up from Natalie Ronayne at the Botanical Gardens in Cleveland was this idea of a green core. Well, we came back to Columbus and with the help of Jim Schimmer and the Economic Development and Planning staff, we worked with the Franklin Park Conservatory and created a green core. And when we were up in Cleveland, this is in 2011, they were graduating like 70 kids a year, inner city kids, learning about horticulture, learning about gardening, learning about growing, and they were graduating like 75 kids a year and helping to place them in jobs in that industry. We came back, and what did we have the first year, Jim? Three kids, I think?
Maybe 5 to 7.
Yeah, not too many, half a dozen the first year, and it's grown each year, and I think we graduated a dozen this year? 14. So every year the program continues to grow, and we're hoping that here over the next couple of years we're going to continue to keep growing it. And so there's a lot going on in this area. It's really a popular thing now, but it's also vitally important to our local economy. And so we're ecstatic to have you guys here today. We'd love to come up and present you with a resolution and get a picture taken.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. Great to see you.
I know. Yeah.
I would like to mention, just briefly, Brooke is sitting out there and Bart Logan before him were very instrumental in helping write portions of the report to the President and Vice President on climate preparedness and resilience that dealt with this very issue of local foods. Very proud of that. So we are leaders nationally in this.
All right, back to economic development plan. Sorry, Jenny, sorry. Thanks.
Resolution number 558-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Toby A. Abrams and Christina M. Abrams at 4647 Harbor Boulevard, Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio 43232.
Commissioners Toby and Christina Abrams received $4,069 in July of 2008. All of the obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled, and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
I'll move approval of 558-16.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 558-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 559-16, Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for John T. and Virginia A. Ash at 1451 Megaffin Avenue, Franklin County, Obetz, Ohio, 43207.
Commissioners, John and Virginia Ash received $6,000 in May of 2006. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled, and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 55916.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 559-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 560-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Julie Anderson and Ratanik Neo at 114 Rita Court, Franklin County, Whitehall, Ohio, 43213.
Julie Anderson and Ratanik Neal received $4,223 in August of 2009. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled, and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 56016.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 560-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 561-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for by Michelle D. Addison at 5197 Sedalia Drive, Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio, 43232.
Michelle Addison received $3,255 in January of 2008. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled, and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of resolution 56116.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 561-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 562-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Jacqueline Corbin at 2620 Glendale Road, Grove City, Ohio, 43123.
Jacqueline Corbin received $5,000 in May of 2001. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled, and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 56216.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 562-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 563-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Manford A. Boys and Kathy A. Boys at 3596 Panama Drive, Westerville, Ohio, 43081.
Manford and Kathy Boys received $4,738 in January of 2003. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled, and the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 56316.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 563-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 564-16, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for David Chambers and Regina T. Harris at 185 Deerfield Road, Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio, 43228.
David Chambers and Regina Harris received $3,267 in September of 2007. All obligations of the housing program have been fulfilled. Therefore, the mortgage should be discharged. The taxes are paid in current. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Move approval of 56416.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 564-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 565-16, review of petition to annex .46 plus minus acres from Jackson Township to the City of Grove City, case number ANX-EXP2 2016-19-16.
Commissioners, this resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation of 0.46 acres from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The area to be annexed includes property located at Casa Boulevard. That's just south of Casa and west of Hahn Road. The petition was filed by agent and attorney Casey Wall on behalf of property owners Renee and Yesenia Fueguero. 14.3% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Grove City, and the city passed resolution CR-40-16 on July 5th, 2016, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved and a statement regarding incompatible land uses and a zoning buffer. The petition meets all statutory requirements of section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
I'll move approval of 565-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 565-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 566-16, review of petition to annex 55 plus minus acres from Blendon Township to the City of Columbus, case number ANX-EXP2-20-16.
This resolution is to consider, again, another expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 55 acres from Blendon Township to the City of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at Alry Road. That's located both west and east of Alry Road. The parcel is actually split by the roadway, south of Central College Road and north of State Route 161. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Laura Comack, who is in attendance if you have any questions, on behalf of the property owner McCorkle Soaring Eagles. 56.7 of the site's perimeter is contiguous to Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 1847-2016 on July 11th, 2016, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved and a statement regarding incompatible land uses and a zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements of Ohio Revised Code 709.021, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
Laura, do you have anything you want to add?
I'll move approval of 566-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 566-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Homeland Security and Justice Programs.
Resolution number 567-16, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the City of Columbus to administer the fiscal year 2016 Justice Assistance Grant. JAG.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jessica Hughes, Office of Homeland Security and Justice Programs. The resolution we have in front of you this morning is an MOU with the City of Columbus to administer the 2016 Justice Assistance Grant Award. Franklin County and the City of Columbus are joint recipients of this grant funding, and the MOU establishes Franklin County through our office as the applicant, administrator, and fiscal agent of the award. It's also a requirement from the federal government as a condition of this award. The MOU will be filed with the Bureau of Justice Assistance as a condition of the grant, which we do annually. So pending any questions, we request approval of this MOU.
I'll move for approval of Resolution 567-16.
I'll second that. Is there anything different this year than previous years?
No, everything seems to be the same as previous years, and funding will probably continue just as it has, same project.
Thank you.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 567-16 has been adopted.
Thanks. Human Resources.
Resolution number 569-16, resolution approving personnel actions.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources. The first is personnel actions this week. We have Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 new hire and 1 resignation. Department of Job and Family Services, we have 16 transfers within the agency, 1 leave of absence, and 4 resignations. Office on Aging, we have 1 resignation. Fleet Management, 1 new hire, and 114 rate increases at Child Support Enforcement Agency as a result of our wage reopener we agreed to with the Teamsters. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
Move approval of Resolution 569-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 569-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 570-16, resolution authorizing a contract with Findlay Davies Incorporated for benefits and wellness consulting services for multiple projects for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Benefits Program in the amount of $298,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jody Leese, Assistant Director with HR Benefits and Wellness. Rob and I are joined here today by Bruce Davis, who is a Principal and Practice Leader at Findlay Davies. This resolution will approve a 2-year contract with Findlay Davies for continued benefits and wellness consulting for Franklin County and the Franklin County Cooperative Health Benefits Program. 5 major areas: competitive selections, of which we have 2 over the next 24 months, continued legal and compliance work as it relates to ACA and HIPAA. We also have 5 renewals over the next 24 months, so we will need some assistance with those. And we are also in the process of strategic planning as it applies to both our benefits and wellness programming. So Findlay Davies has been very involved in that over the course of the last year. And then ongoing support as we need it for benefits and wellness. These areas are all areas which Findlay Davies has been providing us services for over the last, since 2013 actually, was when we originally contracted with Findlay Davies. So pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
I will move for approval of 570-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady. Resolution number 570-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 571-16, resolution authorizing the settlement of workers' compensation claims against the county by Latricia Hobson in the amount of $150.
Yeah, this is a settlement, agreed to settlement approved by the prosecutor's office, $150 nuisance value to settle the claim. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
Move approval of 571-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 571-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Jody.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 568-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $959,138.39.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Balanier, representing the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests your approval of 121 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the County Auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
I'll move approval of 568-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 568-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 572-16, resolution appointing Joy Bivens to Impact Community Actions Board of Directors.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. This is the first of 4 appointment resolutions. This would replace Tony Carroll on the Impact Board. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
I'll move approval of resolution 572-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 572-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 573-16, resolution appointing Carolyn Y. Williams to the Franklin County Community-Based Correction Facility Governing Board.
Ms. Williams is a retired employee of the state of Ohio and been active in the community. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of this new appointment.
Move approval of 573-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 573-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 574-16, resolution appointing Jana Teresa Kroom to the New Albany Community Authority District Board of Trustees.
Ms. Kroom would be a new appointment to the New Albany Community Authority. She is the Director of Regulatory Affairs for Columbus Gas. She is a Franklin County resident of New Albany, and pending any questions, would recommend approval of this new appointment.
Move approval of 574-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 574-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 575-16, resolution appointing Chip M. Spinning to the Central Ohio Regional Prevention Council of the Ohio Children's Trust Fund.
Commissioners, earlier this year, you appointed as your two slots Lillian Lowry and Jane Wyde to this council. Subsequent to that, Dr. Lowry was chosen as chair of the council, so she's no longer a Franklin County voter on the council, so we have the chance to make another appointment. Director Spinning is more than willing to serve. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
Move approval of 575-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 575-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Eric. Deb, do we have any journalizations this week?
No journalizations.
All right, being no journalizations, that concludes our meeting. We'll see everybody next week.